Okay, good afternoon. So, yesterday you can see that um, I was referring to a sell that would happen. Uh, I mean, I was referring to this as a reward region yesterday, and that it's possible that price would fall even though there's no risk here, so I wouldn't sell it. But it's possible that it would fall into here because since this is just a region, and that's what it did. And then once it got into this region, I said that this is also a risk region, and one of the things that you could do then is play against that risk region to use this as a target, and that's what happened. And then I said that if it goes above this price, then we'll use this as a support, and you can see that the retracement is being used right here as a support. And this actually is a polarity, and the reason why this is a polarity is because of that pre-existing boundary. If this has a boundary, you can clearly see that. So that looked pretty good. That was picture perfect yesterday. Now considering that, looking at this technique. This is more of a machine learning technique using multilinear regression ranges, and this is more of a professional trader technique, which is using polarities, inversions of min and max points, inflection points. And you can see that that's what's happening here. We've got a couple of inflection points, max inflection points here, and then a couple of min inflection points here. And so let's see what happens. See what happens next. So this was not that clean because this is more of a subjective style that I'm trying to develop. But you can see that these inflection points are on top of each other. These max and mins are at these inversion points together. So it's a little bit more generalized. Takes a little bit more effort to understand. It's more subjective, but that's what I'll be working on. Given that it has identified this as an inflection point, I'm going to use that. I'm going to keep that and remove some other ones. Also, you notice that we've got some channel activity here. This ranging activity correlates with these two minimums here. And what I find is that these retracement points, mins, like to rest on and sink a little deeply into these channel areas. So, which is exactly what it did here. So this is a good polarity to use, polarity range, potential polarity range. So that's 20 pips to 6. That's about a 1 to 3 risk reward there. This is 36, I think, 36 to 9, so it's about a 1 to 4 right there. And the question is, should I keep this? And based off of this right here, these low points here, these are two lows, and this is a high. So I'd like to do a high and a low. And there's a pretty big gap here, and there's also shifting. So it is very important that you make it more relevant to the near-term price, to the newest price, and that appears to be the high here appears to line up with this right here. So it would let's see. I'll make it this. I'll make this as a polarity. Matching a low with a high. All right, so now to the fun part, the multilinear trends. So the same thing as usual. Remember, we've got this standard here. It's going to be buying. We're expecting buying activity. It's got to average back up to this price, which is about 300 pips away. This is a long-term goal. Actually, that's 1.5 thousand pips away. So here is another target here. This is not the. That's not the average we were just looking at. This is, yeah, this is the one that's about 380 pips away. So even though we're still sliding away, it has to eventually. The reason why it has to get eventually to this average is because it has to. It's an oscillation, just like you see the oscillations here. It will oscillate up and down around it. So that's just the average. So that's not the maximum. Later it will have to go into an oversold, just like it is and create a max, just like it is here. Sorry, it will have to be overbought, just like it is here, oversold right now. Okay, so this is just an average point. So we at least expect it to go up here. Now when it either okay, and it isn't right now. So looking closer into this, we can see this is again the 360 pip range that it eventually has to get to. So if you're dollar cost averaging or euro cost averaging, you would buy until you hit this target. Looking in again, we see that value is no longer there. You see, that's no longer a concern. This price point. Now we're looking at more near term. And so what's going on near term? So we've got this risk region here. Okay, we've got two regions. We've got this smaller region and this larger region. That means that the smaller region will be the risk region. It's the tradable stop region. Okay, so very simple what's going on here. If price is under this smaller risk region, then we're going to target this as a reward. That's a very clear target. If it stays above this, then we're just going to keep buying like it is now. Just stay in a buy and just measure the lowest point, the low of the day, to the average daily range value, which currently is 76 pips. You can also do that with polarities. So we're saying like here is a polarity target and here is a polarity target. So if price continues, you can target these values, and when they go higher, you can use these as stop ranges and also as targets. The next one is this one. If you don't want to use average daily ranges, you want something more precise. So between a combination of those polarity values and the diagonal trend ranges, risk regions, we have something tradable. So this one, for example, this region here, this diverging region, corresponds probably with this area here. So as you saw before, these are probably better for targets. And the risk regions, if we have something that's very solid like this, we can just use this for the risk region for the stops instead of the polarities. So for example, this price point here, 10248 or something, 10248 is like this one right here. Okay, so if we sell under this risk region, we can either target this or we can target the polarity that's near it, which is this one here. We can also expect, right, that. So basically look at these lines and then look for a polarity that is near it for a double confirmation for target. Okay, that's it today. Let's see what happens.